Welcome to Biblical Counselor. I'm Dr. Dave Jones. Today's episode is entitled Stressful Challenge. How would you handle this? Hopefully it's in response to 2 Timothy 4, verse 2, that you are prepared in season and out of season. This counseling opportunity took place over a number of months through a number of long-distance telephone calls, often occurring 2 to 3 times a week. Janie, a woman of 65, was having significant challenges with Lois, her mother of 86, shortly after the death of Lois's husband of 53 years. Lois became detached from her friends and relatives and no longer was interested in attending her church. This was of great concern to Janie and convinced Lois to move to a distant city where Janie lived in order for continuing observation and care to be monitored. After a period of time, Lois began to show signs of dementia and became a continuing challenge for Janie to keep up with. Lois became abusive and at times uncontrollable with her spending habits and social interactions. This daily disruptive behavior was beginning to have its effect upon Janie and her marriage. Stresses were beginning to develop and lifestyle changes were beginning to manifest themselves in Janie's family life and relationships. So that's it. That's what you have to deal with. How are you going to respond to this? How are you going to handle this? What are you going to say to Janie? Anyway, stop, think about it, kick it around, include your friends or family to help you determine how you're going to handle this, and then when you're done, come back and I'll show you how I handled it. I became involved with helping Janie to address these issues by advising her to become more controlling of her mother's behavior. One of those changes Janie could take was to accompany Lois to the doctor's appointments and to become intensely involved with the medical treatments Lois was under and to create a dialogue with the doctors as to medications and behavioral protocols to follow. Secondly, Janie was advised to consult an elder law attorney for the purpose of creating a guardianship for Janie to administer on her mother's behalf. Such a legal document would allow Janie to assume the day-to-day responsibility of her mother's legal affairs and financial considerations. Perhaps the most rewarding result was that just when Janie was beginning to think that maybe she was the reason for her mother's demise, which was also beginning to manifest itself in her marriage and family relationships, she saw hope in implementing these 2 very simple suggestions. As a longtime Christian, Janie forgot to also realize that she was evidence of the loving relationship she had with her mother, and that God allowed Janie to endure this situation as further evidence of His love for her mother through her. Janie now sees that the stress is gone and her relationship with God has blossomed into one she cherishes by understanding that God gave her the strength to continue loving her mother as He had continued loving them both.